Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 110 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. And today, other than interviewing people, my favorite thing to do is the list of questions episode. This is part 4. I've done 3 other ones. And basically what I do is I go on the in your Facebook machine and I type up and say, ask me any question as long as it's about wrestling, and then I answer them on the show. So let's see who submitted. We got a couple repeat offenders, and then we also got some new people who asked some questions. And I love when new people, I love when anybody, just as long as there's enough for an episode, which I believe there is. The first question was asked to me by the roller girl, Emily M. Palehurst. She asked me if she could be a wrestler. Now, I don't normally say anybody could be a wrestler. I mean, as long as you love it and you have passion and heart and dedication and whatnot. But 1, it's in her family. It's in your blood. And 2, you're a really tough chick. So that counts. So if you actually wanted to and actually loved it that much, and you had the time and energy to put in it, without a doubt, I think you could be a wrestler. It's just, you got to go all the way in. If you're going to do it, you can't half-ass it. So I know you have a lot on your plate already, but if you shoved a couple things to the side, you could definitely make time. You could do it for sure. If anybody could, it would be you. The next question was Joey Allen, and his question is if he bought a wrestling ring, would he have lots of friends? And I mean, you'd have to ask Sarge, Scott McEwen. He has a wrestling ring. Does he get any more friends because of that? Now, I mean, if I bought a wrestling ring, I'd have a lot of friends. But Joey Allen, you're Joey Allen. So if you bought a ring, I don't know if you'd have a lot of friends. But I'm sure you'd get a lot of fake friends. And I'm not sure, like for me, I only know about 4 or 5 wrestlers that live in the Kitchener area. Like most of the wrestlers that are my friends, it's all spread out. So you get a lot of wannabe wrestlers that are your friends, but real wrestlers, they already have places to go. The next question is by Tracy Yeager Eckhart, and she says, if I could change the outcome of one of my wrestling matches, which one would it be? There's definitely a couple I would change the outcome of, but without a doubt, the one that was the main event of the Rogers taping, where I got knocked unconscious and broke my collarbone and had to be out of action 9 months when I was on one heck of a run. That one, definitely, because with the blood, they also couldn't air that match on Rogers. And I had a feeling I was going to do really good in that match. And plus, it was like a couple of days before my trip back home to BC, to Campbell River. So it messed up a lot of things. So definitely that match I would change the outcome of. Joe Dog Halan, yesterday's birthday boy. He writes, on his birthday, I believe, it may have been today, but I think it was on his birthday. It was still in the 24-hour span. He writes, how do you unlock hidden characters in WWF Warzone for PlayStation? Now, Joe Dog, there is a couple different ways, but I know the one way is go to the main menu, and you have to wait at least 2 minutes until the menu loads and loads again, and then you have to press up, down, left, right, down, up, A, B, A, B, A, B. I'm just kidding. Triangle, 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 square, square, square. No, wait, okay, so up, down, left, right, up, down, square, 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 triangle, 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 circle. Then you press all the keys at once and hold them for 11 seconds. Then you unlock Gold Dust. Okay, Adam Lewis, love it. Adam Lewis, who is one of my friends all the way back since he wanted to fight me in grade 7. We were best friends in grade 8. And then we've remained friends ever since. He put me on to so much good music, and I'm just happy he contributed to this. He says, when was Mick Foley instated as the commissioner? Now, as far as I know, Mick Foley's been the commissioner quite a few times, but I think you're going back a couple of months, because right now I think it's Kurt Angle, and Mick Foley has taken some time off or been fired or whatever the case may be. But hey, it's kind of good to know that you're keeping up with some of the wrestling, Lewis, because as is, whatever you want to be called, because I know you're not a huge wrestling fan, but thanks for contributing, because you know that I love wrestling, so it just makes me happy that you would, bring me a question. The next question is by Joshua Hosking, the Most Sportsmanlike Player of the Year award, and he says, have I seen the trailer for WWE 2K18, and have you heard about any new features? I have seen the trailer. I thought the commercial was really well done, although I was really disappointed at the end when it was Seth Rollins, because I like when they have like the nostalgia guys, like like the Stone Cold or the Goldberg, or just someone that's not currently in the Fed. No disrespect to Seth Rollins, but the trailer was really well done. I have not heard anything about the game. If there's any new features or this or that, I'm sure they always do the games good, and they'll have something current where maybe they'll have like, oh, you started NXT, then they have a bidding war, you go to Raw or SmackDown. I don't know, but I'm sure they'll have something new. They always do pretty good on those games. Rob Gosling, here's a new submitter. Rob, thanks for your question, man. It was great getting to know you a bit there in Hagersville. And he says, what will I do to make 2017 brighter for myself in the ring? And see, I had a big 2017 planned out. And then 4 days into 2017, I broke my ankle, which is still not really doing so good. It's pretty rough the last couple of weeks. So I had a lot of plans to make the future brighter. The Willow Show was going to be a big part of that, but then also when you're not wrestling, it doesn't help. I was planning on getting booked with a bunch of new feds, but now like I'm nervous to put myself out there when I still don't feel 100%. So to answer your question is, I knew what I was going to do, but now because the circumstances have changed that, I kind of have to reevaluate the situation, but I'm just trying to stay somewhat relevant, and I'm kind of looking like 2018 will be the year I plan for 2017, hopefully. Or maybe I'll have a good last 6 months. We'll see, but I'm not too sure right now. The next question is by Jeff Thompson, and he puts, why do referees get distracted and then start the count over? Like if something happens where they're counting, the guys counting them outside of the ring, and then something happens where it breaks the count, and then they start over again. Well, Jeff, the easy answer to the question is, if you look at section 118, page 3 of the rule book, the official wrestling rule book, it says, if it is not a continuous count, it must be started over. So even if the referee was counting and got a case of the hiccups for 4 seconds, and it had nothing to do with being distracted, he would have to stop over. It has to be a continuous 10 count. It's just like when you're doing a pin, 1, 2, you can't do 3, you gotta start at 1 again. It's the same thing. So that's the easy answer. The smart answer though is, if the referees, if the finish of their match is a count out, they don't get paid as much if it's a pin, unless it's a pinfall or submission. The referees get paid more if it's a pinfall or submission, but it also is in the rule book that it has to be a consecutive, continuous count. If they stop for some reason, then it's got to start over. It's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It can't be 1, 2, pause for a few, and skip a few, whatever. You know, I'm sure people know what I mean. Jeff Black, thanks for contributing, man. I didn't even think he goes on the Facebook anymore. He said, where did Jam G end up? Well, as far as I know, Ike Shaw ate him, but I'm not too sure exactly, and I don't really care. Although maybe I should. Maybe, I mean, there's a couple questions about Jam G here. Maybe I should try to find out where Jam G is, but I don't think what Jam G could do before, I'm not sure if Jam G could do the same thing that he used to be able to do. But if he did, that'd be great. Be always worth a try. Eddie Osborne has a bunch of questions. At least they're about wrestling this time. He says, what are my favorite feuds of all time? Man, there's been so many good ones. The first feud that ever got me into wrestling was Jake the Snake versus Ricky Steamboat. The feud that was the most important to me was Jake the Snake versus The Undertaker. And then one of the feuds I really loved was Ricky Steamboat versus Steve Austin in WCW. So those are the 3 I can think of the top of my head quickly here. Eddie Osborne has another question. How many matches does he like to see? Do I like to see on an event? I guess it depends if it's like a WWE pay-per-view, or I guess it doesn't really matter. I would say 7 to 8. I prefer 7 and give them a little bit more time, rather than squeeze in 8 and get another extra match and then have less time for the matches. I'd say 7 is a good number for me. And Eddie Osborne asks again, who are some of my favorite celebrities that were ever involved with WWE? Man, there's been some horrible ones. I actually like K-Fed, Kevin Federline. I couldn't believe he took the the attitude adjustment or whatever. But as far as celebrities, man, I'm all about the rappers, and there has not been very many good rappers. I mean, I know Wale was on there the other day. Fabulous was supposed to be a part of something back in the day, and it never worked out. And like, I know P. Diddy performed. There hasn't been very many. I'm gonna stick with K-Fed. I don't know why it was so corny, but at least he wasn't like the other celebs. At least he got involved. So now Jessica Lennox, who is family to me, I consider in high regard. I consider her my sister, which she is, and I thank her so much for contributing. She puts, who was better overall, Jam G or Elian? Now, I would say that Jam G had much more impressive offensive maneuvers, but overall, Elian is the better wrestler because he's more well-rounded. And then she also puts, whatever happened to Miss Vicky? Now, Miss Vicky was a character that in the IWA back in Campbell River that was the only female wrestler that ever participated. She had a mean bonsai drop. She competed in quite a few matches. And as far as I know, she quit the wrestling business. She lived happily ever after. She has an amazing family. She is now a soccer coach, an award-winning, groundbreaking soccer coach that's putting the town on the map. And that's all the questions I have for today. I love doing these. I tried to space it out where I wish I could do them once a week. Maybe I should. Maybe I should, because I love them. They're so fun. I don't care if people ask silly questions or stupid questions, or as long as it's about wrestling, I don't care. I enjoy seeing people like have a smirk on their face when they write a sarcastic question. But that's all for episode 110 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show. Remember, like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline and a burp. And subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!